Welcome back. You're on Lifestories. Mrs. Dora Kutesa, remarkable in every way, wanted to salvage her husband's condition. We hear more of her experience.
First of all, he was not living here. He was working in India, living in New Delhi, and he was staying here in Uganda. And he reached a point where everybody got concerned around him. He was sick. He couldn't even leave his room. But I was constantly in touch with friends, with relatives here, and the caretakers who are taking care of him, and of course his doctors. The doctors were very helpful in this. So when they realized that he had liver cirrhosis and all of his liver is gone, they decided to send him to India so that he can get treatment. They put him on the plane, and we received him at the airport when he was in a wheelchair. It is a very terrible disease, liver cirrhosis. And he could not even walk, he could not even do anything for himself. And to go to the hospital, actually he went in an ambulance. We took him in an ambulance. And a few days in the hospital, he was in a coma. But they had not put him on any medication. They were still running tests, and he slipped into a coma. He was in a coma in ICU for quite many days. And then the doctors realized that the liver is completely gone. I remember the doctor came and had called me in ICU and told me that, you know, his liver is completely gone, and his kidneys are also shutting down, and he's got this ailment, so you prepare for the worst. If you are not an international patient, I would tell you to take him away.
Hearing about Major General Pecos Kuteesa's alcoholic condition is almost unbelievable. Making a connection between him and his past is difficult. He spent 4 months in coma and 18 hours on the operating table. That was definitely his turning point.
In fact, I mean, what was remaining was only the brain, which was still functioning in its own way, but also had delusions. But most of the things were dead. The heart was still pumping. But when they told me, you need a liver transplant. Now, there are two types of liver transplant. There is what they call the cadaver, taking a liver from a dead person who donated it long ago, or a live cadaver, a human being who was the same. Incidentally, so many things you have to have in common. The blood group, the size, the age, so many things. Now, but I was asking myself, who really is willing to die for me? I thought society owes me a living, until when the real truth sank in. Nobody was willing to go there and undergo an operation of 50% chance of not coming out. For someone who has drunk himself to the grave.
He had friends, he has one brother. They would have been able to donate. But at that point, really nobody wanted to do anything with him. Everybody was blaming him. We told this man to stop drinking, and he did not. Now we are not going to put our lives at risk. I talked to the brother. He said, no, I can never do that. And except, of course, the children. Some of our children came up and said, we want to donate. But I wouldn't want to see my children go through such an operation at a tender age.
And they had to cut up my wife, give 3/4 of her liver to me, because the liver is the only organ in the body which grows. Her liver grew back, and mine grew, and here I am.
So when you decided to donate, you know, over 70% of your liver to him, were you thinking he would change forever?
That was initially my problem. That's why I needed to do a lot of praying. I was thinking, well, I'm here going to give him a liver, then he will. I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and I had seen people who had received their livers also and gone back to drinking, and then all that effort is wasted. So that was my initial worry. He wasn't concerned about my life or anything, but he's drinking again.
The problem now was with me. When the daughter decided that I'm going to do the transplant, what was undergoing my nanny was now, heaven forbid, if daughter was to die and I came back, where would I have faced the public? That I drank myself to the hospital, and my wife, I took my wife, and she died, and I came back. How would I face my children?
So that's why I needed to pray and really see that God is in it. And if he's in it, who can be against it? He said, well, you know where you are taking him, let your will be done.
So you had forgiven him?
Many years back, I had forgiven him. I was not angry at him at all. I was feeling sorry for him. It stopped being anger and it becomes empathy, I think. I started feeling sorry for him to see somebody with such potential wasting himself.
That experience gave me a lot of respect for ladies. When a woman says I do, they mean I do. They have got their sense of commitment, and courage is beyond what men can do. That's when I sobered up in my mind. On the side, okay, if I survive this, what will I do in life? First thing I would say, I would carry out a campaign against alcohol. Okay, in fact, when I came, the first thing I did, I went home. It was Christmas, and I asked the priest there to allow me to preach, and I talked about alcohol. I asked them the difference. Well, I mean, what causes the other? Is it alcoholism which causes poverty, or is it poverty which causes alcoholism? People are saying, alcoholism causes poverty. I say, no. Poverty causes alcoholism. Poverty of the mind.
So what big lesson have you got from this part of your life?
It's been a humbling experience. It's humbled me. It's drawn me closer to God. You know, we human beings, we are sometimes very proud. We live this life thinking that we are here on our own, and you can make things move, and you can do all that you want, and you can. But when you face such difficult situations, it's when we realize that we are nothing. We are helpless. We cannot do anything. Even the Bible says that you cannot even add 1 inch on your stature. What can you do? What worries you? If you cannot do something small like that, the Bible calls it small, adding 1 inch on our stature. So we live a life here full of pride and ourselves, and with lots of arrogance, thinking that we are what we see ourselves. But I can assure you, we have a God who looks at all this and who is willing to help in every situation, and who we should really, before even getting involved in anything, be it marriage, be it career, we must first seek divine help and ask him if this is your will for us, God.
My wife, she would tell me, but I shunned it. I really owe a lot of apology to my family, the problems they passed through because of my alcoholism.
People enjoy me all the time. Some have mastered the art of taking me in moderation, and others take me liberally and imagine they can't be addicted to me. My name is alcohol. I can make anybody blue. I can make you pick a fight over nothing. I carry the power to shatter your life, destroy that which you've built, and cause pain to your loved ones. So as you take me, remember your values. Have caution and have care. That was it on Life Stories. I'm Justine. Take care of yourself and your loved ones.